This is question 8 from the Higher Engineering Science past paper from 2023. Here we are shown a lifting system that allows workers on a construction site to carry out essential maintenance, and it's being developed. They want a warning system that's going to sound an alarm when the platform's in motion, and there's going to be 2 buttons to control the upward and downward motion of the platform. So you're told a list of inputs and outputs and the Boolean operator for that. So we've got the alarm sounds, we've got the gates open, we've got the maximum load being exceeded, button C and button D pressed. And then we're given a specification. So let's read through this carefully. So the alarm, Z, will not sound unless the gate is closed, and will not sound when the weight of the platform exceeds the maximum loading, but will sound when either C or D is pressed, but not when both are pressed at the same time. And we're asked to complete the Boolean equation for this alarm system. Now I think the most helpful thing to do here is to highlight what we know and work out from there what we need to add in. So we're told that if the gates are open, A is equal to 1, we want the gate to be closed. So we want for A to equal 1, because when the gates are open, it equals 0. The alarms are going to not sound when the weight on the platform exceeds the maximum loading. So if the maximum load is exceeded, the table tells us that B is equal to 1. So B is going to be 1 as well. And then we want the alarm to sound, so we want Z to be 1, when C or D is pressed, but not when both are pressed. And so that should jolt your engineering brain to say, if it's going to be C or D, I need C or exclusively D. And so what we've done here is we've built a little bit of information for ourselves that will help us complete this Boolean equation. So Z is not going to sound unless the gate is closed, so we want A to equal 1. And we want... I've done that the wrong way around. So it's not going to sound when the weight of the platform exceeds the maximum loading. So if the maximum load is exceeded, B is equal to 1. So actually, I was wrong here, and we need for B to equal 0. So in that case, we need not B. And it's going to sound when C or D is pressed. And so what we've done is we've gone through the wordy bit of that specification to create for ourselves that Boolean equation. And here you get 1 mark for A and, you get 1 mark for not B and you get 1 mark for C and exclusively or D. The second part of 8 is an energy efficiency question where we're going to be using some energy calculations. So we've got a battery powered portable floodlight. They're going to be installed on the construction site to allow work to be completed in lower light levels. We're told what the battery rating is. So the minute you see something like that, whether you highlight it or whether you prefer to write it out, you need to make a note of the fact that we've got a voltage, we've got a current, and we've given a time of 4 hours. So the battery is rated at 15 volts, 13 amps, and in 4 hours the useful output energy is 2.32 megajoules. So they're asking us to complete the energy audit diagram for this floodlight, and we want to show the input and output energies, the efficiency, and the waste energy. So the first thing we can do is we can say that we know actually what the output energy is because we've been told that. So we can say here that our output energy is 2.32 megajoules. We don't know our input energy yet, but we can calculate that, and that means we should be able to calculate our waste energy as well. So our input energy, if we know that the voltage of the battery is equal to 15 volts and the current of the battery is equal to 13 amps, we can say that energy going into this is, let's have a look in our data sheet here. Great, we can use electrical energy. So if you're not sure at any point, you can just use the data sheet. By writing down what you do know, we can see that we've got V, we've got I, and we've got T. So that gives us everything we need to know to calculate this. So our electrical energy, which is our input energy, is going to be our voltage, which is 15, times our current, which is 13, times our time. Now, we're told that our time is 4 hours, but if I take a quick look back here, time has to be in seconds. And again, I'm just checking that on the quantity, symbols and unit table, so I'm not making a mistake. So to change that into seconds, I'm going to say that that is 4 times 60 minutes times 60 seconds. I'm going to pop that straight into my equation there. And that gives me 2808000 joules, so 2.8 megajoules. A quick, that's just two significant figures there, a quick logic check, a quick sanity check. I need to check that the energy in that I'm calculating is greater than the energy out. So here I've calculated that as 2.8 megajoules, and that is indeed more than the output energy I'm told of 2.32 megajoules. That's good. So I've done that much right at least. Now the next thing I want to calculate, let's pop that in here. So I've got electrical input energy, of 2.8 megajoules. And the next thing I'm going to want to do here is calculate the waste energy, or the losses. And that's straightforward. So my losses are equal to the input energy minus the useful output energy that gives me 0.48 megajoules, which is 480 kilojoules. So I'll pop that into my diagram as well. You can just pop that in as megajoules. I don't think it's going to matter. And then the last thing, okay, don't forget here, I've been asked to calculate the efficiency as well. So if you're likely in an exam to get carried away, I've already done the output energy, so I can tick that off. That was given to me. I've just calculated the input energy, I've done the waste energy, and now I want to work out the efficiency. Kind of running out of space here, folks, so give me a moment. I'm just going to pop this here. Now we know that our calculation for efficiency is our useful energy out divided by our total energy in. And so in this case, I've got my useful energy out is 2.32, and I've got my total energy in as 2.8, and that gives me 0.828, etc. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to times that by 100 to give it to me as a percentage. So that gives me 82.8 blah blah blah. So I'm going to say that that is 83% efficient. Don't leave your answer down there, however. Make sure you put it into this diagram whether I'm expecting it. So the floodlight battery there is going to have an 83% efficiency. And just to be really clear here, we've got 3 marks, and that is going to be 1 mark for calculating the electrical input energy and the waste energy, 1 mark for calculating the efficiency, and 1 mark for completing the diagram. So it is important that you do that because you've been asked in the question. Up here I'll just delete these marks to make it clearer. You've been asked to complete the diagram. So do make sure that when you're in an exam situation, even though you're going to have lots of things going on in your mind, you make sure you're getting those 3 marks, you're not making a silly mistake and losing them because you don't complete the diagram.